talked about this before. The playoffs started at the beginning of the week. It's first to four. It's one game at a time. We've shown a lot of resiliency in previous playoffs throughout the season. Just got to focus on that. Come out, just continue to put our work in each day. Did some good things tonight. We did some not so good things tonight. And we just got to clean it up. And we just got to keep taking it one game at a time. Guys were in really good spirits. Obviously disappointing. You're definitely pissed off after a game. When you take a loss to start out the series, but been in this position before. Just got to focus on just tomorrow's day.
What did you make of Jaren's performance? What do you think he did well, and how can he, keep this up through the full series?
Yeah, no, I thought he was extremely well, played extremely well, aggressive. Obviously they're going to probably start throwing double teams at him, so kind of figuring that out. But I thought when he got to his spots on the floor, he found the angles to get separation, have, nice finishing game, obviously knocking down threes, free throws, doing what he does on the defensive side. I mean, he was huge for us, just trying to find him different ways to be aggressive, whether it's on the perimeter or on the inside. I thought he did a really good job tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see what their game plan is and adjustments, and we got to be ready for it.
Taylor, when Ja fell, looked like he fell, and then like his wrist also didn't look great there. Is his wrist being evaluated as well as his hand at this point?
I think the medical team's looking at everything.
Okay, and when he returned to the bench, did you know at that time he was not available to check back in the game, or was there any possibility at that point that he might?
Yeah, they said an emergency situation, but probably the smartest thing was just to hold him out as we continue to go through evaluation.
Okay, we're going to go to Sadie, Mark, Joe, DeMarco.
Taylor in the back. I know it's so early, but is this a new injury to Ja or on that fall, or going back to just adding on to what happened after that Milwaukee game?
I mean, obviously it was a different fall, and, it was in the same area, so can't tell if it's exactly that. They got more further evaluation to see, compared to what had happened in the Milwaukee game.
And secondly, when you get ready for this game, obviously you knew they had the parts that were there. To see Reeves and Hachimura come up as big as they did, that had to be something that, really went well for them in this game.
Yeah, those guys played extremely well. Obviously, Reeves late in the game, Hachimura, got a lot of open threes tonight. We'll continue to discuss the game plan. He played extremely well. I thought the ball moved really well for the Lakers tonight. We just got to continue to go watch the film and see where we got to make the necessary adjustments. But if we're going to give up 50 points in transition on the boards, it's going to be really tough no matter what happens in the half court.
Along those lines, they were plus 27 with Anthony Davis on the floor. He obviously did damage on the glass, blocking shots. How do you combat that? He's obviously a fantastic player, but how do you combat that? Just in terms of, you can't have him dominating like he did inside today.
Yeah, sure. More effort on the boards. It's collective effort. It's easier said than done. And then obviously we got to identify when we've got, crowds that we're playing and we turned it over too much tonight. He blocked 7 shots. He's elite for a reason. He sets a tone for, the aggressive defense that they play. We just got to make some smarter decisions around there when he's at the basket.
I have 2 questions. I guess just to get the ball rolling on this, do you expect Ja will be able to play in 2 days?
We're taking it one day at a time. I can't answer that until I get full. I'm not the medical expert, so.
And then, bigger picture, before he got hurt, what did you think of how he played today?
I thought he was good, aggressive, obviously trying to get a feel for their game plan. They were a little bit more aggressive than we expected, pick up points, driving downhill, knock down some big shots. He was getting his floater to go early in the first half, knocking down threes as well. And that second half was big. They're going to throw a lot of different bodies at him. It's Vanderbilt, and they throw Schroeder at him. They're up in the pick and rolls to their back. I thought he navigated the game pretty well. And, was kind of learning to see, how we got to adapt to those different game plans they throw out throughout the game.
Taylor, just wondering, Rui, at what point, when a player like that is shooting as well as he was in that third quarter, did you attempt to shift some things on him? What were those conversations, and just how do you think that played out in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, first look wasn't game plan related. Second look was. Then they had a driving kick. We were in rotations. They found him for an open 3, and I think there was another one late in the game that was off an early pass. Russell did a good job tonight distributing early, 7 assists to an open 3. So we definitely had our dialogues. He found just enough open space. Teammates did a great job finding him. So definitely something we got to clean up.
Now, Coach, looking at the box score, of course, you lose by 16. The game was a lot closer to that than that. But what would you point to is the reason why, if you had to tell your team, why exactly did you all get this L today?
We didn't execute the priorities of the game plan. Get back, execute half-court defense, and get rebounds. Great. Thanks, everybody.
First of all, Des, tough game one, man. Just from your point of view, what went wrong out there today?
I mean, rebounding, first and foremost, we gave them too many second chance points. We lost a transition battle. We knew that was going to be a big emphasis, coming into the series, a battle that we got to win. Both teams really prioritized transition. And, I think those two areas really hurt us tonight.
Hey, Des, you guys have lost game one before and come back and win a series. What's the message to your teammates to go out and just forget this and work forward?
It's one game. It's first and fourth for a reason. You want to win every game, but most of the time that doesn't happen. I've never been a part of a sweep, win or lose. So, we obviously wanted to start it off with a win, but, tip your cap. They won tonight, and we get another opportunity on Wednesday.
When you saw Ja come off the floor and he looked like he was in pain, I guess what was going through your head at that moment, and then now with a chance to step back, what are your thoughts on what happened with him?
You never want to see a teammate go down, with any type of injury or any type of, pain. He's been playing through a little nagging thing that he's been having, but, we've been in that position before without him on the floor, and Tyus is obviously capable to play a big role and make plays on both ends of the floor. So hopefully he's back Wednesday, but, if not, I think Tyus will be ready to go.
Desmond, with game one under your belt, what parts of the game will you personally stress in practice going forward to ensure preparation for playoffs?
I think, transition for sure and rebounding the ball. I think if we can do those two things, we'll have a good chance.
Des in the back. We just finished talking to John there, and he said pretty much the pain tolerance is like a 10 right now, and he admits that there's a huge question mark in playing for Wednesday. When you hear him saying that, especially with everything he's gone through this year, how difficult does that make seeing one of your, leaders having to deal with something like this and that he may not be able to play in game two?
Yeah, we got a great medical staff, and, that guy's tough as nails, so, I don't want to put anything out of the question.
Desmond, in terms of Hachimura, how much of that was just the looks he was getting, and what sort of adjustments or what can be done differently to deal with him?
That was our game plan going in, make him hit shots, and, he did. Tip your cap. It's probably the best game he's had of his career. It's a 7-game series. Let's see if he can do it again on Wednesday.
Des in the back here. Next man up mentality has been your guys' go-to for not only this year, for a couple years now, but Ja in question, Steven Adams, Brendan Clark out, yourself, playing through an injury all year long. Is this your toughest next man up challenge yet?
I wouldn't want to rank them. I feel like, we win the game, we make a couple plays down the stretch, nobody's really talking about, this narrative, so, I think that, we're in a good spot regardless who we got on the floor. I got trust in everybody on the floor. So I think whoever we roll out there Wednesday, we're going to have a good shot to win.
You mentioned that the game plan going in was to make Rui hit. So do you feel like overall you guys did a good job on LeBron and AD?
I thought we were pretty disciplined and, limited them from getting the shots that we didn't want them to take. They're great players, so they're going to score and they're going to make plays and find ways to impact the game. But, for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job on Bron. He got out in transition a few times and hurt us. And then AD on the glass. It's going to be a challenge the whole series.
Hey, Des, so Coach described the feeling in the locker room that y'all were ticked, but also y'all were in good spirits at the same time. Just what kind of dynamics and dialogue kind of lead to that combination?
I think first off is experience. I've never, we won a game one my rookie year, but last year we lost game one of both series and went on to win.
against Minnesota, of course. But so we're obviously in good spirits. We felt like we played well. We could definitely play a whole lot better. And we still felt like we had our chances. So it's definitely encouraging.
They were 27 points better than you guys when Anthony Davis was on the floor tonight. I'm curious, do you guys have to change at all how you attack him after you saw what happened in this one, especially just, I think he had 7 blocks, something like this. How do you adjust to what he was able to do in game one?
Yeah, I think we're ball movement, is going to have to be at a premium, share the rock and, make the simple play. He's obviously a great defensive player, has been for a long time in this league. But I think that we're going to be just fine. Thank you.
First of all, Jaren, great game by you, man, but a tough loss, man. How do you, I guess, kind of gather what happened out there today and what went wrong?
Yeah, we just got to tighten up some screws. We know the game plan. We know exactly what we need to do to win. I think there were stretches where we actually did really well. But I think they just had more stretches where, they were getting to what they wanted. But I'm encouraged. Game 1's over. Move on to game 2. Whether we won or lost this game, who's going to have the same mentality. So we know exactly what we got to do.
Jaren, just in that second half, what did you notice that the Lakers were adjusting to, primarily in the post, and just how did you look to counter that by still getting to your spots there?
They're just doubling from the middle, putting bigger guys on me, trying to front me, doing whatever they can to make it hard on me. And you just got to keep staying aggressive, man. There's a lot of ways you can score. You just got to keep exploring all those options.
Jaren still in the back. It was hard to watch Ja in the locker room today. He's really down for a guy who's been through a lot. You guys have had his back this whole time. He's even mentioned that game 2 is kind of serious question mark. How hard is it seeing him go down and obviously not know if he'll be able to be there with you on Wednesday night?
Oh, yeah, man. We know how much he cares. We know how much he puts into the game. So obviously, when you're not, when you go down like that and you have to leave the floor, it's definitely frustrating, especially in the fourth quarter. But yeah, he just needs a minute. He's fine. I've seen him battle through pretty much anything. So at the end of the day, I'll see him tomorrow.
Do you expect to see from the jump the coverage you saw in the second half tonight for game 2?
I have no idea, actually. I wouldn't know. I see a lot of different coverages. I don't know which one they think is the best one. So, but you have to use your counters. Whatever they throw at you, they're going to they're probably going to try and mix it up to try to, I don't know though. I can't predict it. They got a whole coaching staff over there. They're going to do what they do, and we're gonna have plans for all that.
Obviously, you took on a much bigger role, more of an offensive burden late in the regular season. Never know if stuff's going to carry over to playoff basketball, which is different. Obviously, did for you tonight. But do you feel like did you bring a lot of confidence into the series that the gains you'd made offensively in the regular season? You felt like you were ready to do that in playoff basketball?
Yeah, it's still a basketball game. It's still playoff basketball, regular season basketball. It's still NBA teams out there. We're still, you know what I mean? I guess it's a little different because of the format and what it means and how much passion you're finna play with, but it's still a basketball game. How it translates over, it should always translate over. Nothing really is different unless you really are trying to win a series a certain way. If you're down, then you have to make adjustments. If you're up, you stick with what you're doing. So that's the only time things change, really. And you look at past series, that's what happens when players get pulled out, players don't play. That's really why.
In the back here, Jaren, Josh said that he feels like it's been one thing after another. I think he was referring to himself, but just as a team, it also has been for you guys. Has it felt that way, that it's just been one thing after another when it comes to injuries for you?
Oh, if you look at it logically, for sure. Look at the list. Shoot, I've had one. Steve, BC, 12, Des. It's a part of life. It's a part of the game. You pray for everybody to be healthy. You pray for the best all the time, but that might not always happen. So, yeah, but that's always just stuff he's telling y'all. I mean, at the end of the day, he feels fine. He feels fine. We push through anything. He's just going to tell y'all something good.
I couldn't recall. Did they use? I got two questions for you. But did they use LeBron defending you like they did tonight ever before when you played against Lakers?
Yeah, I feel like Bron's been guarding me a good amount throughout my career playing him.
It seemed like you saw the matchup and obviously just it didn't deter you in any way.
I get to attack all the time. I can't really worry about anything. Yeah, I can't.
And then, in relation to Anthony Davis, do you guys have to change anything in terms of how you're attacking him? He ended up with 7 blocks today. Obviously, had a good success on the glass as well. Do you have to change how you attack him moving forward, or is it just he's Anthony Davis and that's stuff he's going to do?
How we attack him offensively? Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of his blocks are weak side or on ball. I don't know. Figure it out.
Jaren, especially if Ja doesn't play on Wednesday, I think you know that you're going to be viewed as the go-to guy. Down 1-0 in the series, backs against the wall without Ja. Do you feel like you're as ready to seize this moment coming your way as you have been in your career?
Yeah.
Jaren, as soon as we got into the locker room, Luke was talking about, as soon as you guys got into the locker room after the game, it was already, you guys started talking about, all right, what do we have to do? It seems that the experience from last year where you lost both game ones, kind of, you guys know what to expect. How good is it that as soon as you guys got off the floor in a tough game, you were already looking ahead about the things that needed to be corrected so you can even up this series?
Yeah, that's what you have to do in the series. Even if we were to win the game, got to always, have that dialogue constantly with everybody, with your teammates, with your coaches about what you got to correct. I mean, that's before the game, throughout the game, after the game, and it's tomorrow and the next day, and it's pretty much through the whole series. So it's just fresh dialogue. You want to just continue to be fluid and just have that. And to answer your question, I mean, you're always ready for your opportunity, and you never should shy away from it. That's not how we're built. That's not what our program stands on. I mean, every single time you've seen anything happen, someone steps up into that role and does exactly what they need to do with the help of everybody and understanding it. So I just think that's what this place is about for sure.
They played Vanderbilt and Hachimura about the same amount of minutes in the first half. Second half, they leaned more to Hachimura. Does the difference in those two players on the floor change what you're asked to do defensively? And do you think that'll change more as you go forward?
Yeah, different players, I'm going to guard them different. But, he had a night for sure. Played really well. But whoever they throw out there, we got to be conscious of that. But I think we will going forward.